Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. I am your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News Report. Black Minds News Report is to articulate, transmit, communicate, insinuate, develop, investigate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether by news, video, or website, or quotes from publications. As I articulate this information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit, because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this place that you call the United States, we, the BADOS, the Black American descendant of slaves, the progeny, lineage, and bloodline still existent in this day, we give honor to our ancestors. You know what the motto of my show is? I'm never gonna tell you what I heard. I'm only gonna tell you what I know. Today's date is January the 7th, 2020. Did you hear in Philadelphia that they have a annual, always seems to be around the 2nd of January, of a parade that many of you may not never have heard of. So as being a black American and seeing this news story that I did see, I kind of questioned the validity as to the authenticity of what they claim that they have, what they say a tradition. And so I decided that I didn't see nobody bring it out. So I decided to say, well, let me go ahead and present this on my show, because I think sometimes, I ain't gonna say sometimes, I'm just gonna say that they always are putting things right in front of your face, as they say, eyes wide shut. And because you have an eyes wide shut, sometimes people pull rules over your eyes right in your face and put sugar on it and make it seem to be sweet. So what we're going to do is stay tuned as we get into this broadcast.
But it wouldn't be New Year's without the Mummers Parade, but some mummers wearing blackface is stirring up controversy. Hello everyone, I'm Yuki Washington, Happy New Year. And I'm Jessica Cartalia. Matt Petrillo joins us live from Center City, where he caught up with at least 2 people dressed that way. Matt?
That's right, and those 2 mummers claim that blackface is not racist. We have more on that in a moment. First, take a look behind me right now. We are at the convention center. That stage is where thousands of mummers will strut their stuff, but that one group, Froggy Car, will not be here.
We're celebrating gritty. The theme is frogs getting gritty with it.
This inflatable gritty hangs outside the Froggy Car Club on 2nd Street in South Philadelphia. Mummer Jim Martin explains the group's theme is based on gritty.
So I couldn't tell you why gritty, but it's a traditional mummer uniform with the dress.
But at least 2 mummers affiliated with Froggy Car were blackface as part of their costumes, which some people viewed as racist.
Oh, blackface and all, it ain't about that.
This man denies that his blackface is racist, as does Kevin Kinkle.
Black and orange, getting gritty with it.
So why the blackface?
Because I like it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah. I know it's a shame to be white in Philly right now. Yeah. It's a shame, yeah.
But the history of the Mummers Parade is steeped in controversy because of other instances of racism, including mummers wearing blackface. Last year, one skit showed a man dressed as Jay-Z appearing to wear blackface as he treated Mayor Jim Kenney like his dog. It prompted city leaders to condemn the group because of the blackface. But it turned out the man portraying Jay-Z was black. But this year, with 2 white men wearing blackface, city leaders are swiftly responding. Mayor Jim Kenny tweeted, "The use of blackface by someone affiliated with Froggy Car today was abhorrent and unacceptable. This selfish, hateful behavior has no place in the Mummers or the city itself. We must be better than this. The group was disqualified, and we will be exploring additional penalties." And so again, that group Froggy Car is disqualified from performing here at the convention center. Still, there was a lot of fun happening today for the celebration for the 120th anniversary of the Mummers Day Parade here in Philadelphia. We have more on that coming up on Eyewitness News at 6. Reporting live in Center City, Matt Petrillo, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. So first and foremost, want to say what's good to my fam, subscribers, old, and I got a couple new ones. Want to say what's good to you, and a couple of y'all that did give me a comment. I know Red Alert has commented. A couple other people that said something was good to you, and all those who did comment and who did participate and watch the first video of the return of Black Minds News. Again, this is the most hated show on the black corner of the internet or YouTube. Again, if you are a passerby, welcome to the most hated show. Go down the aisle, see some things that you might like. If you happen to see something to make you feel some kind of way, remember that the motto of the show is the truth. Don't need no partner. Now, let's go ahead and get into this. So what we see is a parade, right? And as you've seen there, the two individuals there, that's all in blackface there. And looks like the mayor of Philadelphia decided that he was going to disqualify the Mummers group because of the two individuals that they caught. Now, again, they said these were only two people who they caught because, again, they have some kind of proceedings or some kind of, I guess, safety valve is when you come in, they check to see if you are fitting what is in the protocols of to be a participant in the parade. And then once you bypass that, then I guess accordingly you can do whatever after that. But again, that's supposed to be the checks and balances as to making sure according to what they say. Now, again, we know politically correct is going to be stated in a situation because, again, you got caught with your pants down. When you get caught with your pants down, then again, we got to get politically correct and we got to say all the right things. And maybe some people are going to be, punished or disciplined and all kind of other things because we got to, again, look the part if we're going to play the part. So, again, they say two people got caught wearing colors that, again, according to the tradition that they say, right? Tradition of this parade. Now, the tradition of this parade has been around for 120 years. And what they call tradition is what I say that they hide behind. And as I get more into this particular story here, or this report, I'm going to show you that, again, you could just tell, like, again, if you've been around for some time, you worked, again, when back in the days, when you worked in, like, warehouse factories and stuff, and, you know, the diversity that sometimes, again, you be the quota that worked there, and you had to be around certain people, and then because of you, and maybe you're not that type that really fits in with them, or they really don't want you in there, you kind of have the kind of like Stretch Cunninghams as they had on All in the Family. Those who remember back in the day when they were watching All in the Family, you had the Stretch Cunningham, the cat that come in and do all the jokes, or kind of racial cat and so forth. And, you know, that's what this dude kind of reminds me of, and just the way he kind of says it, right? And so they, again, they say the theme of what their group is, they have this image of that some kind of, I think it was a hockey mascot, and his name is Gritty. And you've seen what he looked like, right? Orange and black, and, you know, kind of, you know, when you look at the history of it, kind of like, he just been revealed. He only been out since 2018. But did you hear how they said that, you know, gritty with it, right? Oh, Gritty gonna get gritty with it. Now, what is that kind of like jesting to? Kind of like the Will Smith getting jiggy with it, right? Right? Na 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 na, getting jiggy with it, right? So he getting gritty with it. So again, you making the subliminal kind of, you know, let's say the subliminal kind of connotative joke, as if, no, we're serious, but let's see how serious this parade really is. Or is it just these two, or is it just the history of the Mummers Parade that in itself is just really blatant, again, as I said in the intro, why I shut for many of us who do not pay attention, because some people might be like, well, why are you doing a story about something about black? There's so much stuff. No, because all this has this relevance into our existence here, living here in the United States. And so what we see is that this is a traditional parade in Philadelphia that they've been having for over 120 years. And they have a certain, matter of fact, did you even notice how when they came on a news report that they're going to talk about this, and they had the black man, the newscaster, I think his name was Yuki Washington, right? Yuki Washington, right, is saying that it wouldn't be New Year's without the Mummers Parade. And then they go ahead and let, you know, Miss Ann go ahead and finish it off, right? So let's look at it like this. They asked the man that you see on your screen there, right? They say, well, you know, why would you be wearing blackface and open like this, knowing that this is going to, you know, be controversy? But the thing is, it ain't like this is the first time. Accordingly, as I go on later, I'm going to show you there's a lot of things that just, again, I don't even think it's just playing on the line. I think it's just, it is what it is. Until we bring focus and look at it, then it's all of a sudden now it's like everybody's appalled that people are doing it. But they've been doing it for 120 years. This ain't nothing new. There ain't nothing new about this. And did you hear the white man in the video here when the interviewer had asked him, you know, why are you wearing the blackface? He said, because I like it. Yeah, he threw it in there real quick, because I like it. Right? Why not? Why not? Right? As if he needs an explanation why blackface shouldn't be worn. He said, no, it's not about that. It's not. Well, of course. You've been better off just saying, because I like putting on blackface to just ridicule black folks. You'd have been better off just saying that. You're going to still get the same ridicule. You still got your face all out there. So you might as well go ahead and hold true to it because it look like that's the kind y'all just is. You get down like that. You and your partner. Yeah, look, we got the black and the orange on, right? We got the black and the orange on, right? And so, last year, 2018, did you see how they showed that little sketch where... It's not even funny, man. It's just like, I'm saying, again, 2020, a lot of y'all think that when you woke up in 2020, that somehow that the world was going to be changed. The world ain't going to be the way. It's just going to be, cotton candy, raindrops, all going to be good. But no, they say it's the same things that seem to change, seems to be the same, right? More things seem to change, seem the same. So let me show you that. You might not have caught that, right? Now look at that, right? It's supposed to be depicting Jay-Z and the mayor. It was through a comic strip that was done in the Philadelphia paper, and it was talking about some incident how I think they felt like Jay-Z was basically had the mayor like a dog. He could do what he want with him, right? And probably had something to do with the Meek Mill situation, most likely, right? And so, as you see on your screen there, right? Do that look like a black man? Not the one on his fours like a dog. We're talking about the one that's walking them. Do that picture, if you look at it, does that look like a black man? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Is that a black man? Right? Is that a black man? Because what they tried to tell you is that wasn't really a black man. Right? That was a black man. Now let me show you who they show who they say that was. You see that black man right there? Do that black man right there look like the same black man that was, let me get that back up there again. Was that the same black man that was right here? Do that look like the same dude to y'all? Because he's taking the fall and you see he's taking the photograph when they said that the mayor came down and said that they were going to ban it because due to the simple fact that y'all went out and did a caricature of blackface right in front of everybody for them to see. And then they said, no, you wrong. No, it was this guy. That's who was up under there. So did this black man here, again, look at that picture. Look around that face. Look how dark that is. Look at the glasses, or put it this way. You see there's something kind of like white around his face, right? You see there's something white. Now, when you see this picture here, you still see around the cheek. But look how brown that brother is. All right, can I say brother? Can I say brother? I don't know if I can. See that black man right there, right? That black man, because his mustache is black and you can see that. But how could that brown-skinned man right there look like that in this picture that you see here? But then when you take it when he was doing this, look how dark he looked. You don't see the brownness in his skin. So, did they do a bait and switch that he was going to be at the end and show, oh, no, that was this cat here? Or did that black man put on blackface to play the part? And if he did, you got to ask yourself, why would a black man, unless you just, that naive, that, again, there's some people, like, again, I seen the show a couple of days ago where some people were talking about another individual, and I agree with them about aspects about what they were talking about. But there was a part that he stood on that was about blackness that I agreed with. And I noticed that a lot of people who were in there seemed to be sympathizers against anything about black stance and anything as white sympathizers that come up with excuses when somebody who has love for their people and want to be about what they say pro, like it seems pro-black seems to be like a bad word amongst a lot of people. When you say pro-black, they like, hear that pro-black stuff. Well, you don't think that other nations and other ethnicities of people are not pro for themselves? It only has a negative connotation or stigmatization when black people who sit there and say, I'm down for blackness. And so I'm looking at this picture and I'm saying that cat in there can't be the same dude. And if it is the same dude, he put on black paint on his face. Now, did he broke off some bread to do the do? Or there was a debate and switch that you gonna say you did this because he gonna have on the same attire when you see him at the end when they sat there, they took this photo right here, right? You see him. But again, when you see that, look how he's not as dark as when you seen that picture. And then look at them as they're clowning. He got the, the Jay-Z symbol in his hand. They kind of got that, that smirk and everything. And it's kind of like, they said, well, based on your assumption that you thought that that was a white man in blackface, because it was a black man. So based on what I seen, I believe that black man put on black face paint to make itself look like a black, somebody playing blackface, all into the characters, again, giving them a satisfaction of, again, this mummers parade, right? Is historically, that's what they do. This parade, as they say, is a satirical sketch, what they say, on local and national politics. Now, I went and looked at a lot of the old mummers parade, and I seen a lot of stuff that I believe that just was, it is, again, if your eyes are wide shut. So let me show you what they showed here. Now you tell me, based on this here, now this was the other article that I had seen on this, right? Now you see there talking about the two members who wore blackface are never going to be allowed to march again for Froggy car WENCH Brigade. I'm going to say that again. Two murmurs who wore blackface are never going to be allowed to march again for Froggy car WENCH Brigade. Now, wait a minute. In that picture that you see there, I see Colonel Sanders with a big bucket of chicken on his arm, leading by people from the distance that you see. They could look like black folks. Huh? Colonel Sanders leading black folks with a bucket of chicken. This is the parade. But again, as I went in and I seen a lot of the older mummers parade, I seen a lot of, again, it says satirical, right? This is satire for them. Basically, I'm going to get into all this. I'm going to go ahead and get into all this. But anyway, let me go ahead and tell you some more about this whole thing. And just to show you, again, wise eyes shut stuff that, Black Minds News over here, we're going to touch this, right? So we see that the mayor, Jim Kenney, had came out again. He said he's going to disqualify that. Now, again, I'm going to get into that WENCH Brigade now. They're trying to say that the parade in itself, but accordingly, for the whole 120 years, they have always had this racial element in every year of the parade. So it can't be a coincidence that these two who did what they did, maybe they just took one for the team to get it off so they could put it in there, again, stir up the pot, get black people to feel some kind of way, or just getting off. Because, again, we kind of let 400 years get away, right? We just let the 400 years. We on 401 now. We're going on 401, right? The momentum and all that was going on the 399 to 400, and the 400 just passed, and they didn't really have to address it. Just kind of went away. And we'll get to the next 50 and 100, but you'll be gone by then, most of you, right? So this mayor, Jim Kenney, again, he had called himself disqualifying them because, again, like I said, he got caught with the pants down. And the two that you've seen there in this interview, and as I talked about the mascot Gritty, which was the group's thing, and, you know, they said it had nothing to do about being racist or to the black person or the white person or the yellow person, whatever is our tradition. Now, what do they mean that the parade is their tradition? Because they say that black people don't even participate in the parade and they don't really be onlookers watching the parade. Right now, a lot of you who might be in Philadelphia, you might know more than I do because I'm only doing it from erudition of learning and reading about it, but not being there physically. And maybe you might know those who in the comments. Go ahead and you go ahead and comment on it if you want to comment. But, you know, doing things right in our face, and then when we, again, put our attention to it, then everybody trying to act as if like that's not what it is. And so we see that the mayor goes into his politically correct mode, says, well, you know, blackface is abhorrent, it's unacceptable, and the guys that sat there and did it, he's unselfish, this hateful behavior has no place in the murmurs, and we as a city must do better. All that sounds good. But in application, and then we talk about in reality, it's like you always get one off anyway. You get one off anyway. So based on by disqualifying that group and giving additional penalties, is really going to be the remedy that they see that, well, that's how we going to do this, right? Now, according if you go on to the parade website, they say that the mummers, I guess it's mummers, right? Mummers, right? I'm going to talk about that mummers in a minute. They considered our costume entertainers. Now, again, costume and entertainer doesn't necessarily mean professional, does it? Just means somebody who puts on something and going to go out there and do whatever the choreography or whatever they got going there. And so, again, this is going back 120 years. They seem to be like they don't understand that invoking blackface and the racist history and how that originates going back to the minstrel shows going back into the 19th century, where those who know that the performers were dark skin, shoe polish, burnt cork. They put on them tattered clothes, and they will always do exaggerations that feature the stereotypical black person, right? You know, their own Snoop foot and all that, you know what I'm saying? And that was considered entertainment for white folks. Mimicking black folks is entertaining. Now, again, when he said, going back to this is our tradition, when he say our tradition, he talking about white folks' tradition? This is what white folks do as tradition, because it seems like they don't really got no tradition. What is really white folks of America, send it from England, Britain, Anglo-Saxons, what is the real tradition other than the fact if you're going to ask BADOS, really, you ain't going to like what we say, right? And so we see that these minstrel shows, accordingly, they always mimic our ancestors, those who come from the southern plantations. And they always depicted, in those who've been around and seen the cartoons, remember how they was depicted in cartoons, and not also in cartoons, but also in when you watch movies, that black people were lazy, cowardly, ignorant, hypersexual, right? those were the depictions that they gave when they did these types of, I guess you say, stereotypes. But sometimes our stereotypes, I ain't gonna say sometimes, stereotypes can have some truth in it, but it can be the exaggeration to it as well. And so, based on the performance that were done, that weren't black people, was white people acting as black people, white people felt like this was funny, right? They thought the audiences chuckled and laughed and had a good time. Now, accordingly, at this parade, the choices was that they could use are orange, white, or black. Now, they had the choice to use it, but I guess you're supposed to mix them up. But if you did it straight out black, then now it's a problem. What difference does it make of what color you use, whether it's orange, white, or whatever, if the performances that you're stereotyping and having satire with are still depicting people of color? What difference does it make when you all just making fun of them? Because again, if you might be a little curious and go look at it, you're going to see them dancing, got monkeys. They had the Indians talking about this is our culture. Ain't an Indian nowhere there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, all right, that's how y'all get down. All right, but let's look at something here. Did you notice that I had said that? Let me get this out the screen here, right? Let me go ahead and do that. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Let me go and do that, right? So, okay, so the name of the group, they just said Froggy Cart. But they had said they were the Froggy Cart WENCH Brigade. I'm going to say that again. WENCH Brigade. Now, wait a minute. Now, they say they're not racist, but when you heard the word wench, and matter of fact, there's somebody in particular that uses that a lot, and that had been a little byword in the black corner for a minute when they were talking about certain types of people. But when it comes out of other folks' mouths, you have to say, okay, why are you using this as part of a title? If you're just a group and all you're doing is putting on costumes and you want to do some performance, why the wench word is in there? Why you got that wench in there? So, you know, when you say wench, what you're really saying is you're saying a peasant girl, right? A country lass. Country lass. You don't use that word today. You're talking about a working girl. A maid. Now keep that in mind, a maid. Serving woman, right? A womanized whore, wanton, right? A sleep around, a lecher, right? So look at that word there. That word maid. Now what I'm about to say here, I say this out of, again, news report, lesson, and again, as BADOS, history, and this is just kind of what our history has been. So think about that. They put that as a wench, as a maid. Now, they had a movie not too long ago called The Help, right? Remember when they do the movie The Help? And what was them women in there doing? They was cleaning houses for white folks, right? Now, in our families, those are BADOS, again, the bloodline lineage historical people who they call slaves, we as a descendant of that a lot of our family had worked the women as maids, right? So, based on the definition of what they say the wench is and our understanding what a wench is. So when that white man hired one of our family members in there and they was cooking white folks' meals, cleaning their house, nursing their babies, Did he also want a little something on the side? I'm going to say that again. What they say a wench is, they also threw in the word maid. So, is there a silent secret that was going on with some of our families and, grandparents and so forth, who, again, as an honorable profession to take care, do what you had, those were the jobs that was offered. But they say wench and maid is simultaneous. They're kind of similar as to the way they look at it. So, was that happening, that some of our family members were working in them houses with white folks, and the white man may have wanted him to do some, as they say, as the stereotypes pick, hypersexual? Now, again, I'm going to tell you something also in that word wench, because that word wench goes back into a stereotype that was historical. And let me see if I can show you who I'm talking about, just to, give you what I'm talking about. Let's see if I got her in here. I know I got her in here. Hold on. There she go. All right, so let me show you this. And I don't do this to be vulgar. Anybody know who that is? Anybody know who that is? Sir Archie Bartman. Sir Archie Bartman. Remember they call her the Venus Hottentot, right? Right? The Venus Hottentot. And so when you look at Hottentot, according to what they say, a Hottentot, a person of inferior intellect and or rude, uncivilized ways, a savage. He disputes with heat and indiscriminately mindless of the rank, character, such a man. No, the utmost I can do for him is to consider him a respectable Hottentot. According to the 1976 supplement to the OED, the derogatory sense, which has based on a failure to understand an alien culture, appears now to be very rare, right? And they said for another notable Hottentot, the word is wench. So Sir Archie Bartman, as an ancestor of ours, who I think was from, South Africa, if I'm not mistaken, was taken up into Europe, and based on her, they say her buttocks at that time, they paraded her around as this vivacious, hypersexual individual who they didn't look as human, and kind of stated to the fact that because her ears were short that she was in the orangutan family. So again, you understand the stereotypical this time. So here they was considered the hot time as a wench, right? And that same wench, again, when you look at the word, you see the word in there, you're going to see maid. So I'm not saying whether our people and mamas and grandmamas and things like that were that, but in their eyes, that's how they was looking. So we have to say, in order to keep some of them jobs, right, there may be some dirt somewhere. And so so now to go to this wench word, Let's see where I got my wench at. They would say that a wench was a young person or a young woman. Now again, remember this group is calling themselves Froggy Cart Wench Brigade, but I see men in here. Where part of the wench part is with these dudes? Oh, because he said the traditional garb that they wore were dresses and they wore painted faces, so they acted as if they were wenches dressed up. Is that what he was saying? And so, a Hottentot, right? Venus is a Hottentot wench under the influence of a cantharize, which is Spanish fly, which they called at that time the alterated rum. Spanish fly originally, they say, it come from alterated rum. And so there were different stereotypes, but they say the Hottentot is basically a young girl, a servant, a black female slave, analogous to the male buck. So wench would be the woman, buck would be the other. And so, what part in that name doesn't signify race or connotatively having a racial element to it, right? It did. Yet they try to say that that's not what they're about. But it's trenched all into everything that is specified when you talk about the name, then what you was wearing, right? But you don't want to admit that because, well, as you heard the white man say out of his own mouth, yeah, I know it's not good to be white. It's shameful to be white in Philadelphia right now. It's shameful. You yourself said it. You yourself said it. So let me give you some more as to this parade here. This what they say a parade is, right? They say it was a parade. Now, I want to show you again about that Jay-Z part, right? Now, I don't think I need to do that. Let's just give you a little bit of the background to this. Now, again, every year since they had this parade, there's always been incidents that, not even borderline, it is just what it is. Again, if you go see some of the stuff, you're going to see all that stuff right up in there, right? They said somewhere about 1963 that they had imposed a ban on blackface makeup in the parade due to somebody had got caught out there. And again, 63, I'm pretty sure this is the time when pro-blackness is going down. You get what I'm saying? Pro-blackness is around, and I guess brother that was in Philadelphia was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to cut this, right? And so when we look at the Mummers March going back prior to 1963, which will be about what? They did about 43 years. If they went to 1920 to 1963, that's about 43 years. They were sitting there doing blackface openly as talking about this is a parade, and again, this is our culture, and this is what we do. Now, the Mummers is known for the traditional blackface practice. Because they got that going back to when you think about the 19th century, when you talk about, again, when you're talking about those minstrel shows, right? Very big, right? The minstrel shows. And so they also have, as you heard in that video, as the news was talking about, they said something to the fact about strut. You heard them say, let them strut they stuff. Let me tell you something about this strut. Right? Let me tell you something about that. Let me just go to show you that unveiling this shows the true where this parade really lies at, because when you look at it, they're doing all ethnicities of people doing these type of dances in these costumes, and I think I seen up to about $495,000 of money you can earn if y'all win the prize. But you're kind of getting something off. You know, it's kind of like those who remember that was it Bugs Bunny? Yeah, remember when they had Bugs Bunny had was it Bugs Bunny or was it Woody Woodpeckers? One of them, right? And he had that magic wand, right? And it was this wolf. And every time he hit the wolf, it would change into a different character of singing some different kind of song. He would be country, then he would be a Chinese, then he would be a black man, then he would be an African. Right? Back then, you know what I'm saying? Those cartoons that a lot of us was watching were all steeped in this so-called satirical type of what they say, it's just fun and play. Could be. Right? That's just the way you find it funny, right? It's kind of like Joe Pesci in the movie. Funny? Funny like how? Do I seem amusing to you? Right? Right? So anyway, you see, even in today's Moments Parade in 2020, that how this parade is so imbued with performances that reminisce of blackface minstrels. Now, as I said, the strut, which is their signature dance step, the strut. Now, that strut that they talking about, that they end up calling it the strut, because, it's kind of like saying mosey on along, shuffling on along. We didn't say that. That was something that was put on us, right? So they say they strutting this stuff. Strutting it, right? But that so-called strut, according to what they say, can take you to a term called catwalk. I mean, not catwalk, cakewalk. Uh-oh. Have you ever heard of cakewalk? Huh? The cakewalk. Let me show you what the cakewalk is right there, huh? That's cakewalk. Right? And accordingly, this cakewalk goes back to our ancestors on the plantation. Yeah. This cakewalk goes back to the antebellum plantation dance that they adopted. And again, as they always talk about what they say, culture vultures, right? See some stuff that you do, and in order for them to be able to do it, they have to mimic it, try to act like they just kind of like playing it off and doing something as to not really trying to be it and do it. But that's the way they do it, because again, they say that if there was a world event and every ethnicity had to bring something to this world event, like a picnic, what would they bring to the picnic besides a gun, bullet, and a bomb? Right? What else they gonna bring? Because depending on where you're coming from, what do you got on your land? That's why you're everywhere doing what you're doing, right? So anyway, so let me show you something else about this cakewalk. Now, again, you've been around a little bit. I'm going to show you something that might, again, sometimes we do things as black people in here in America, and we don't understand the systemicness of where that derived from. And so, let me show you something here, right? Let me show you something. That cakewalk, right, that they talk about. Like I said, it comes from off the plantation. That's what our ancestors would do. And they get together and they would, they had something they called about a Jew horn or some stuff they were talking about, right? And they would get in a circle, and then later on, as time went on, you would see them, they doing stuff like that, right? You see, they partying, right? You see the kind of like the decorations in the bag. You see them, they doing it do, right? They getting it in, right? They getting it in, right? So in the modern time, it re-emerged itself, but we didn't know it. We didn't know it. See, there's a lot of our history due to the simple fact that things got severed because of people being split, people not knowing all the true history. People died off, certain things were not passed on. But then somehow the ethers and the spirit of the Creator finds ways to inkle it back into us, right? So those who are around and old enough to remember, there used to be a show that came on Saturdays. You used to make sure you watched it. They played some of the latest music, and you got some of your dance moves from it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Huh? Where you think that came from? Huh? That's the cakewalk. Huh? The chalk line. That's our ancestors' stuff they was doing, right? That we had no idea where that came from. But we knew when we seen that, it felt right. And guess what a lot of us was doing when we had them house parties? Get the Soul Train line, right? Get the Soul Train line. Huh? Because this is what our ancestors did on the plantations when they wanted to do their partying. Get the line, and then they go down and they did the do, right? Now again, some of this is stuff what they tell us. Is it all facts is exact? We don't know, because we don't got all that to tell. But something felt right when you used to watch Soul Train, and then you got, blacks singing stuff you could dance to, and you just getting loose. Now compare that to American Bandstands, right? So when black folks was black folks, we knew how to have fun. Then something came along that now you just kind of listen and bob your head. A lot of robotic dancing, you know what I'm saying? But, it's a little bit something where you can just, feel the groove and you can move to it. It ain't like no choreography where people are all doing a line dance, everybody doing the same ass stuff. No, you're creative and you move accordingly. But we lost that because other people have infused what they want us to be. So we lost a lot of that, right? We lost a lot of that. It's all right, but it's coming back. Oh, you know it's coming back, right? Creator slowly implemented all this back to us. So let me go ahead and give you some more about this because, maybe you didn't know that, right? That line there, that's where that came from, right? So when you look at this so-called Mummers Parade, it's just really a microcosm of just really the bigger picture that's really the persistence of racism in American society at large. But they hide it in a parade. They're doing these things and mimicking, marking, and they say, it's tradition. This is what we've been doing. Yeah, making fun at the people that they've been oppressed, but take the oppression off and allow them to live accordingly where they don't have all the stress, worrying about money and all that. Do you know what you really would see on this planet? Do you know what this world has missed because of not allowing the Creator's children to flourish accordingly? I'm going to say that again. What has this world missed due to the suppression of that which has given it all the creativity and expression, but can't get out. You know, it's kind of like we got something bottled up in us, like, you know, you have a dog and the dog don't get to go out and it's always on a leash, and soon you let that leash loose, he gonna run wild. You know, you call him, yeah, like he don't hear you. You ain't gonna be able to put him back and get him till he ready to tire himself out. Well, I think that's kind of like how we are as BADOS in this country. We got, like they say, they be searching for oil, untapped reserve. I think black folks still got a lot of untapped potential that why everybody is fearing that if we should get to this unification, self-sufficient, independent, self-reliant, that everything that everybody's stuck on, we're going to take off and do some things that you didn't never think could be done. So I guess the whole secret is to keep us bottled up. You get what I'm saying? To keep us bottled up and keeping us feeling unimportant, self-loathing, always looking at the other side of somebody else. Ice is colder, grass is greener, and not looking at the full potential within oneself and realize we don't really need you. Everything of your sustenance, of how you exist, has always been on the backs of black people. When people talk about culture, food, all that, but what about freedom? If they had freedom, a freedom to choose and express and be, the things that people sit and then they put in books and talk about how their people are great and how their people this. Imagine, even though you may take some of the choicest ones amongst us, and sometimes, you know, they say oil will seep out of the ground because there's too much in it, and you'll come and you'll scoop that up and take it and put it as a mechanism in your machine. But where that came from, there's such a big reservoir of that talent that cannot be tapped because it's been suppressed, because something doesn't allow it to fully express oneself. And if it ever gets to that, I think that's what everybody fears. I don't think that. I know that's what everybody fears, right? So they do all this stuff as ways to, you know, to make oneself feel good. You know, mimic you and say you this and you lack this and you that. I make myself feel good. And those who don't know no better fall victim in the minds and hearts to believe all that. But as we in this new 2020 era, there's going to be a lot of things, because again, right now, they done kicked the hornet's nest. And the only comfort is in their existence is only going to be us. So all this planning about what you talking about want to do to us, you're going to be the Ouroboros. That's that snake that eats his own ass. You got whatever plan that you think of getting rid of us, well, then what you going to do? Because all these replacements that you be getting, and because they can mimic, it's kind of like, just because somebody can sing karaoke, huh? Just because you can sing karaoke don't necessarily mean that your ass can sing. Just because you can get somebody who can mimic somebody who can dance don't mean you can dance. Y'all feel what I'm saying? So if you get rid of the original and keep playing with copies, it's going to hit a wall, because the carbon copy can only copy. It can't be an original. And that what happens to when the originality leaves, you're going to be bored out your damn mind. Y'all going to be bored out your damn mind with the shit. So it's about time that I believe the Creator is going to allow this untapped reservoir because, again, statistics and data is showing that if we don't make any changes, somebody's trying to put us in a permanent position. So all we can be beggars and takers of whatever crumbs that you leave. Creator says you got too much untapped potential. See, that's why the black corner can do what it do, but you got to suppress it because it got too big. You know, when Goldie in the Mac, he said, he said, the fat man said, you got to come back into me, Goldie. You're getting too big. The word has come down. You're getting too big. Huh? See, that's what happened. We got too big because they were seeing the potential that could have made an explosion of something that you could not control. So, you know, that story is what it is, man. You know, just the Mummers Parade is what they do. They're always trying to, you know, pretend like they not really making fun. But again, sometimes they say that when somebody does a, you know, try to ridicule you and shame you, it's only because really it's a form of really jealousy and adulations that I really want to be you. Matter of fact, taking back to the Mac, you remember when Hank and the other cop, when it came to Goldie, and you say, we'll send it for us, you know what I'm saying? And told him go away, and then he was like, he said, I think y'all have a problem with women. You see that little pretty white thing I just came in here with? You would probably like to sleep with her. Matter of fact, you like to get in my fancy car. And matter of fact, you even want to look like me. And they both start laughing and they start punching Goldie up because he told that truth. See? And that's what this Mummers is. Oh, you make fun of us. Laugh. But deep down in the core of that ass, you want to be us. And I'm your host, the Whiteologist, Mr. Blow Your Minds, coming with another thought-provoking report. Again, go on there, subscribe, share, comment, like, dislike, do what all you got to do. Yeah, this is the most hated show on the black corner of the internet. Just wanted to bring that little bit out there for you. Just give you a little bit of information on that. Not too deep or nothing like that. So, go ahead and get up out of here. Go ahead. Can you hit that for me, sir, so we can get up out of here? I appreciate that, sir. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do that for me? Can you do that? Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's get it. There you go. All right. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for clicking on today's video. Hearing a little bit about that Mummers Parade. Again, sometimes things are right in front of our eyes because they got our eyes wide shut. So I guess it's incumbent on us that we make sure that we try to pry these eyes open so that we can see. Again, this is 2020. That means vision. What vision? What sight? What eyes are we to look with? Is it our third eye or is it our physical eyes? You make that call. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for clicking on the video. Again, when you see your brother, greet your brother. What's good, brother? See your sister, what's good, sister? If you can't do that much, just give at least a universal nod. Again, we're living in a time where we're coming to a crossroad where things we're going to have to make a decision. And these decisions is whether we have to be self-sufficient, reliant upon each other because everybody else seems to be in position to not want us to have any part to watch you wilt away and dwindle into nothing will be the satisfaction of a lot of people. So we have to teach one, reach one, and become in what way, form, shape, understanding that those people are out here, some for our demise. So again, this is the most hated show on the black corner. Until the next show, peace, love. Until the next show, to the next show. Bye.